Thanks, Mr. Sonam Mallik, for joining this digital podcast series. Myself, Shekhar Soni. I work as principal consultant in Tech Circle. I lead the enterprise business within the Tech Circle, wherein we track 100,000 companies, their IT spending, their digital initiatives, and their way forward, the initiatives that they want to take for 2025 and 2026. We have started this podcast series to get a thought leadership idea from all the IT leaders that are added in our WhatsApp community, as well as with whom we keep communicating through events and through LinkedIn frequently, to gather their ideas and to enhance how we operate as a research company and how we think research moves. So those ideas we want to amalgamate and build a thought leadership perspectives from this communication or from this digital podcast series that we have launched here. Thanks, Mr. Sonam. You are having multiple years of, in fact, 30 plus years of experience leading in some of the largest manufacturing organizations, be it Kesoram Industries, JSW, Jindal Steel, and in fact, one is Jotna Industries that is present in Nigeria. Mr. Sonam has led some of the large transformation projects from SAP implementation, from digital transformation for some of the largest manufacturing setups, and he leads some of the biggest teams in manufacturing companies within the organizations. Mr. Sonam, before we get started, I was curious to ask you, what was your experience working in India as well as working in Nigeria from manufacturing perspective? Because Africa is one of the areas or continent where large manufacturing setups have been established in recent 5 to 10 years. Can you share some of your experience? How has it been different?
Yeah, Shekhar, good afternoon. First of all, thanks for inviting me in this forum and giving me the opportunity to share my experience over here. So if I look back, like I have associated with manufacturing organizations since 2010. Okay, so I have worked in different manufacturing organizations, starting from bulk material handling and steel manufacturing, cement manufacturing, tire manufacturing. And in Africa, I have also handled the digital transformations in a beverage manufacturing organizations, where essentially the bottling of the beverages used to happen. So in both the area, like technology is one of the driver, but apart from technology, the process and practices and people are the key driver for any digital transformations. Technology was there, technology is there, and technology will be there. But it is all about how the people are embracing it and how the proper process are and practical, realistic process are being implemented on the ground to reap the best benefit out of it. So that's what there are various experience like in steel industry. I have contributed a lot precisely in the area of CRM, like cold roll mill, where with the implementations of digital based monitoring systems, the number of defects has been reduced significantly by 60% or so. Similarly, in the bottling plant also, we have reduced the number of faults of the machines quite significantly. We were able to gather or pull the shop floor data in the L3 systems like SAP and business analytics that gave us more clarity in terms of MTB or MTBF, like mean times between failure and mean times to repair, and overall availability and overall cost optimizations part of it.
Great. And so, as you very rightly said, that connected ecosystem, connected supply chain is very important for manufacturing processes to evolve. But I have seen CIOs as well as digital heads still resist from doing IT/OT integration within India context, because just there are multiple security reasons coming from OT that if I connect my IT to OT, there may or may be situations where my complete operations would get halted because of any malfunction that is going to come from IT systems. So how do you see these things happening? How do you see these things evolving and bringing in confidence to CIOs as well as manufacturers to very successfully integrate this IT/OT and make it more safe and secure?
Well, interesting questions indeed. Essentially, the solutions lies in collaborations. So I feel like IT is trying to make the life of the plant managers easy. So we need to include them in the process of rather co-discovery and co-creations of the solutions so that they can embrace it. Yeah, definitely some concerns about security is there. But when you talk about OT and IT, essentially in many of the organizations, this is working within the organizations itself or within the closed boundary of the manufacturing thing. But some of the data we need to publish or we need to send outside if but it is not the entire data. So if it is within the same specified periphery and it is not exposed to so-called internet, so the security is not much concern. But we need to get the confidence of the plant managers or the manufacturing team or the plant maintenance team who are working day and night on the shop floor, that what are the benefits they are going to get out of it. Like with the advent of digital technologies, it is more of a predictive. It is no more a reactive. So earlier, 20 years back or 25 years back, there were many situations where maintenance engineers or the supervisors, they generally after the office hours, they used to go home, and at the midnight there is a fault. They used to come back and to attend the
Breakdown.
breakdown call.
Yes.
But with the advent of these digital initiatives and the digital benefits, so that gives the thing more predictive in nature. Point number one. And there are some apps, mobile-based app, that is getting generated through that the plant manager can get the 360-degree view of their plant and what machines is working at what stage, what is in red, yellow, or green, sitting at their cozy couch in their home, even watching some of their OTT or serials, right? So that gives them the benefit. Even that also gives them the benefit on a Sunday. They don't have to come to office to have a monitor of the overall systems, how it is being done. This is one part of the story, like how to get them together and to get their buying in for the transformations. This is point number one. And so far, security part is concerned, like if we can engage the right kind of the solutions and the right kind of partner in place, and we thoroughly review the security standards that is applicable, so that should not be an issue at all. That is my view on it.
Very rightly said. In fact, improving overall equipment effectiveness and TBF and MTP, these things are very important. And IT/OT integration should be at the top of the list for any you can say CIO, CTO, or plant head. But I have also seen that adopting these mobile-based workflows for engineers can be a bit easy, but for technicians, because they are the someone who are working very close to machines, it becomes sometimes difficult for them to adopt. How do this cultural shift is going to affect, or in fact is going to improve in coming time, or is it going to be more friction apart from engineers as well as from technicians, or more frictionless?
Yeah, this is in fact is a very practical question. So like, and this is really concern also. So again, earlier or in a traditional or legacy way, the technicians or the operator, they so-called walk on the machines and they have to capture few data on some papers. Those are being kept
Right.
just beside the machine itself. Then after capturing the data, they need to get it, either they at the end of the shift, they go to the a kiosk or an office where some computer is kept, and they need to re-enter those data,
Mm.
or there is somebody else who on behalf of the supervisor or the operator, they re-enter the data. So this is a duplication some effort. So if we like get them while design the solutions or emphasizing the solutions and implementing it, the co-creations and the rather co-executions is the key to win, to overcome this kind of challenges, because we need to take them in confidence and we need to explain them that it will eliminate the duplications of work. And training is definitely important. We need to create a sense of empowerment among them, so
Yeah.
that sense of empowerment further motivates them, and they gradually embraces the technology.
Yeah, very rightly said. And from my experience, I also feel that they are very hard to change, but once they change, they are the best one to implement, and they can be the digital champions for any of the manufacturing organizations.
Yes, yes.
Uh, I would like to also touch on one aspect that this end-to-end digitization of manufacturing is again generating a lot of data points from sensors, from pressure sensors, from motors, from generators everywhere. These data points are either collected in private cloud or they move to public cloud for AI ML. How do you think AI infra readiness is going to play a role in this? Is there going to be a GPU requirement to, you can say, calculate or to churn these data points, or is it going to be a simple cloud services that can offer these things? A future-looking perspective from India's point of view, what do you think this is going to create within India's context?
Yeah, again, good question. In fact, so let me go a little one step back. So essentially, if we look at the end to end the systems that is there, traditionally there are three layer of devices: L1, L2, and L3. Right. So L1, L2, L1, L2, and L3 systems in manufacturing organizations play crucial roles at different levels of operations. Like their evolutions through technological advances like IoT, AI, cloud computing, and big data analytics is helping manufacturing companies transform how they maintain, monitor, and optimize their production systems. The digital era that has opened the door for more efficient, data-driven, and proactive approach to operations, allowing organizations to improve performance, reduce cost, and enhance overall productivity. L1 is essentially the sensor or actuators. Those are very close to the machines. Those are implemented on the shop floor. And L2 is basically the supervisory control. They ensure the supervisory controls like SCADA and the DCS, like this. And L3 is basically ERP or SAP
Yeah.
or the any business analytics that basically captures those status and processes. So far L1 and L2 are concerned, I believe in most of the cases it will be within on-prem. And whatever in some of the cases that data can go to cloud, but considering the Indian scenario here, SMB, these at least S and in the big enterprises, the from the productions data may go to cloud, but we can manage the L1 data and L2 data mostly within the periphery of the manufacturing. But if ERP data is going to cloud, but ERP, it is a structured data, more structured data. It is not so-called a heterogeneous kind of data, right? So ERP itself in most of the organizations with the, since I am taking the name of the OEM like SAP. So SAP has introduced RISE, and RISE is essentially a cloud-based application. And there is an PM plant maintenance module, rather we call it an enterprise asset management module now. The functionalities and features has been enhanced in EA. So if I answer to your questions, like from the unstructured data to structured data, so some filtrations has to done from when the data is flowing from L1 to L2 in the L2 devices like SCADA, PLC. So when we are consuming or when we are making the interface to connect it to the L3, there another round of filtrations is happening. So that level of intelligence is taking place in between L2 and L3 to filter out the unwanted data.
No,
Does
very
does it
rightly.
does it
Yeah,
sound logical?
it has answered each and every aspect, each and every point of my question. And in fact, data to be filtered and data to be managed in a proper manner is very crucial to get insights from those data points. And again, as you have rightly mentioned, some of the largest ERP players are moving from on-prem to cloud. There is a reason because they want to run these data points and bring out something very good in form of predictive analytics and get something very easy for manufacturers or CIOs to operate in. You have been successful in implementing multiple SAP implementations within multiple organizations. How do you see this shift happening from on-prem to cloud for ERP? And what are some of the key areas that are going to change in coming 2 to 3 years? Because this is something mandated to go in next 2 to 3 years. In fact, SAP moving completely from on-prem to cloud. How do you see these things bringing out different changes within the complete manufacturing setup? Because IT OT integration is also there. Your complete IT is also moving to cloud. How do you see these things happening?
Yeah. Again, I'm going a little one step back. So when I'm talking about ERP, like to enable the ERP in any organizations, basically there is a require of four layers. One is the hardware layer, another is the operating system layer, another is the database layer, and next layer is the SAP or ERP applications layer. And on top of that, business analytics sits. So if an organizations like manufacturing organizations whose primary focus is the manufacturing and selling of a particular product or services, as the technology is progressing, probably it is progressing very fast. So hardwares are getting changed or evolved, operating systems are getting changed, database are getting changed, and then applications are getting changed. So if somebody wants to manage it on-prem, either it has to provisions the captive staffs who are expert in this four layer. A single all-rounder cannot be available who are champion in managing the hardware, managing the OS, managing the database, managing the applications. Either the organization has to have some kind of maintenance support agreement with the external parties. Again, after each 3 years or 4 years, the hardware or operating system versions is getting changed. So when it is getting changed, there is an again and hell lot of activity has to be done. We need to issue one service order for the upgradations. If we do upgrade also, there is an compatibility issues. So that is a nightmare for CIOs. And that is in fact impacting business. Nowadays, CEOs has also understanding this kind
Yes.
of challenges and pain, because that causes outage of business, that causes disruptions, that causes unplanned investment of additional fund. So these are the reasons CEOs are now also become very sensitive. So cloud is an automatic choice. And nowadays OEMs are also basically they are discouraging or they are stopping the on-prem versions of any kind of applications. And the shift from OEM are also towards cloud. Essentially around 15 to 20 years back, we need to explain the reason why we need to move on to cloud. But definitely OT is mostly inside the organizations, and IT, like so-called L3 applications, we are moving out of the on-prem to cloud. But this data like L2 to L3 movement of data, that plays a critical role. But with the available technologies with the technologies those are available in kind of VPN and in kind of different kind of channels, so we are enabling this what should I say, establishment of the communications in a more secure way. In most of the cases we are encrypting that also, and we need to provisions a lot of bandwidth. So, and there are in many organizations we are having redundant ISPs to make the availability a secured one. And so that's how we are managing it. And I think as I told you, as the technology is pushing us towards clouds, now the CXOs are more sensible and sensible, and there is no more like silly questions why we should move on to cloud, or in the cloud data will be exposed and there is no security. Rather, on-prem data there is more chances of vulnerability and securities, because it may not be 24/7 monitored, the door may not be locked, and there are 7-8 levels of security parameters if we keep it in the data center of a proper OEM with proper contract. And the availability is definitely going to increase in the data center, like cloud data center. And scalability is also manageable if we keep that applications on cloud. Availability, reliability, and scalability, these are the three features those clouds are ensuring, and that CIOs and CXOs are now understanding in a practical manner.
Very rightly said. In fact, managing a in-house data center or third-party data center and keeping that data duplicated in DR, that again adds a cost to you only. But it's something mandatory and important for manufacturers or CIOs to look upon. Any recommendations or any thought that you can give to service providers or vendors, what they should be providing or what they should be looking at to make their services more better for end users like you who are leading the manufacturing setup?
When it comes to the manufacturing of a device, So my suggestions to the OEM will be, don't try to manufacture a device or sell a device. Try to solve a problem. So they have to be more customer oriented. They need to understand what is the need of the business, end-to-end need of the business. The solutions may include some device plus some solutions. It cannot be a product seller. So don't act as a product seller. This area is demands the solutions. So we are looking for solutions. So understanding the problem, documenting the problem, the business problem is more important, and then fit the solutions over there. The solutions will call for the device or the equipment automatically. So it should be solutions oriented.
Right, very rightly said. And bringing those solutions together and together working for transformation brings a better value to organizations as well as to end users both. I would also like to know from change management perspective. We bring all these technologies within our manufacturing setup, but we want to bring a better change management, a better governance or governance model or framework. How does that percolate from, you can say, top management to engineers and technicians everywhere? The change management, you can say, principles.
Yeah, this is again a very good question. So when we are talking about change management, like immediately from the top management to the HOD, the KPI, the proper KPI has to be set, right? So the KPIs are MTBF, MTT, analytics, uptime, and of course cost. But when the KPI will be reported, earlier it used to be an edited data, right?
Okay.
Now the top management are pushing that they want to see the analytics. Like when the data is captured at the source, they want to see the analytics online basically. If from the business analytics applications, if the HODs can show it online in real time basis where the data is being captured at the source itself. So that is one of the way to drive the changes. No more a fabricated data or a what should I say, or a cooked data. Rather, it should be the reports that is being presented, that should be based on the truth captured at the source. So this is one way. Secondly, then digital champions has to be identified on the shop floor itself. They have to train properly. They have to be motivated properly. They in turn will inculcate the culture of embracing the digital initiatives on the shop floor. We need to understand, like if I look at the end-to-end processes, there are some areas where it is digitally enabled, but still between 2 layers or 3 layers, there will be some of the manual processes. So as a CIO or as a plant automation head, one need to identify those gaps area, and we need to establish the end-to-end integrations of the entire processes. Because if out of the 10 processes, 8 are digitized and there are 2 processes in between where there are manual interventions, then probably the final data or the analytics that is being ported at the last level, that may not be appropriate or accurate. So we need to plug in that area, and we need to ensure that there is a consistency of the data and the report that is being presented.
Very rightly said. In fact, I have heard a few CIOs and CEOs and CXOs saying that I need to monitor each and every business unit at a very micro level. So they want a dashboard to be created wherein each and every HOD gets there and presents there that these are the KPIs that are moving from my department. These are the KPIs that are moving from production department. These are the KPIs moving from electrical instrument, and the multiple departments come there. So they
Right.
want to monitor at a minute level also, in fact, that these KPIs are moving at a very better way from multiple departments perspective. Sonam, you touched upon the applications also, and I have heard multiple IT leaders saying that manufacturing applications are very monolithic, but they currently want to make it cloud native and move that to completely to cloud. So just wanted to get an idea from you. What are some of the applications, or what are some of the key areas where these applications are present that are going to be first cloud native, that are going to move first to cloud rather than last?
Okay. So far I am concerned, I keep my most critical core business applications onto cloud
Okay.
to enable the reliability, scalability, and the availability. This is point number one. But if you want me to, what are the applications that needs to be enhanced or digitized or more? So any business task which are more repetitive in nature, so there we will prefer to make them digitized in a more like say invoice verifications and invoice payments. So any business, like any persons who will validate and process the invoice, these are in very repetitive in nature and probably less human intelligence is required over there. So probably those can be automated first. So and
Right.
other way of looking into it, probably in the consumer goods, if we look at the selling of the consumer goods or the manufacturing or the distributions of the consumer good, the digital solutions can be adopted there at a faster rate. I am giving you the three perspective, but whenever there is the good or the services is very specific in nature or very specialized in nature, which is not very normal and which is not very repetitive, their adoptions of digital solutions will take some more time.
Okay. Yeah. In fact, very rightly said, the areas that are very process oriented or process heavy, that needs to be automated first and get those things sorted and make your operations more streamlined.
Right.
Uh, from manufacturing perspective, what are two, three areas that you feel are going, two, three transformations that are going to happen in next coming 1 or 2 years? Complete end to end, if I ask from manufacturing perspective.
In the manufacturing perspective, I think manufacturing, rather the owners of the manufacturing organizations, they look, they are having few goals in their mind. One is cost optimizations. Second is operational efficiency increase. And thirdly, to create a new customer experience. This customer can be external customers and employees also. So all the transformations will work to fulfill or to meet these three criteria. That is, so if we are in a consumer good or if you are in a very customer facing organizations, so all the OEMs or all the manufacturer, they are working how to make the customer experience or how to bring the customer experience to the next level. So that either by adding value to the product or value to the services or value to the entire packages. Like there is a customer journey map, they are monitoring the customer journey map, and accordingly they are rebuilding or recreating the product or the solutions. And like there are many examples. Similarly, like even employees, if they found that still they are coming to an organizations where they have to do lot of paperwork, they may not like it. So in that area also, management is gradually getting focused. This is one of the areas. In the operational efficiency also, like in the shop floor, earlier there are a lot of manual works used to be happening, and now like we have already passed through industrial revolutions 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and now it is in the area of 5.0.
Okay.
So what I read somewhere is in the 5.0, one of the common features will be the cobot will come in place. Cobot is a kind of robot who will work along with the workforce on the shop floor. So these are the cobots. So that is one of the area which will definitely going to increase the efficiencies of the overall people and the systems. And so these are the immediately coming in my mind. Okay.
No, and any key advice to new upcoming CIOs, young CIOs who are getting into organizations to accomplish all these transformations? Any one or two advice to them?
Yeah, one advice is very important. There are many leadership who are telling CIOs, it is the era of AI, bring AI. It is the era of ML, bring ML. So the CIO needs to ask the leadership, what you are going to do with AI? The answer sometime maybe, I don't know, you need to educate me.
Right, right.
When do we want it? I wanted it yesterday. So my suggestions or advice to the CIO is, please come out of this kind of situations. When we are in a manufacturing organizations or a solutions-based organizations, understanding the business problem is most important. understanding, documenting the business requirement and business pain point, and that should be converted into a scope document. If we are building some kind of applications around it, don't go to the full-fledged solutions first. Do a pilot project, check the success rate of the pilot project, then deploy it to the full extent.
Very rightly said. In fact, Sonam, aligning business to business value to IT and your technology initiatives is very important, and putting them forward and bringing them collaboratively is the key thing that a company at a business level as well as at a IT level should look at. Thanks a lot, Sonam, for this wonderful conversation. I think there were very good few key points to learn from this discussion. Thanks a lot, sir, for your time.
Thank you, Shekhar. Good.